Good morning, Wamboos. Start of day number 4. The plan today is to go to the old mission station town of Pella. My one contact there has definitely got stuff. Spoke to him last night. He's got a few shoe boxes full of good red phantom crystals, maybe some amethyst, and another old guy, my favorite supplier. I hope we get him on camera, old Joseph. He's normally got, he almost exclusively digs for me. He seldom supplies anybody else, so he should have good stuff for me. From there we're going to take the dirt road to some of the more remote settlements. I have heard the road is very bad. There was some rain, so we're going to go tar road first and then onto the dirt roads. That way, if the road's too bad, we can always abandon the trip and turn around, come back on the tar road. Apparently it is very washed out and dangerous, so I'm going to go the long way around, so we've got an escape route just in case the roads are worse than what I thought. Okay, so we're on our way to Pella, but I thought I'd just check in because we've got some really good news this morning. Yaku had been contacted by a farmer who's known to have a lot of really good minerals on his land, but he's also been known to chase a lot of people, call the police if anybody's digging on his land. But the old guy has heard about us, and he knows we've got a very good reputation in the area. We're fair, we pay reasonable prices, and well, he's given us permission to prospect and dig on his land. He does get 30%, but so what? So we're going to go around there tomorrow. We're going to start off with smoky quartz crystals, but apparently he does know where a lot of other stuff is, including aquamarine, which if I can get my hands on that, that'll be so awesome. But yeah, so we have developed a very good reputation in the area over the past year or so by being fair and paying the miners accordingly. Might as well just show you, we're in the middle of nowhere. So the secret to a good buying trip is to bring enough ammo. You don't want to find something really good and have to leave it behind. What generally happens here is each miner will you'll have a batch of stuff, so we'll either get that back in my pocket. We will pay them maybe a few hundred, maybe a few $1,000 for whatever he's got, whatever we can negotiate. But then obviously if anybody finds an exceptional piece, you have to be prepared to pay an exceptional price, and let's fingers crossed we might get some of that stuff. But yeah, the good news is we are going to be digging a new area. We'll start tomorrow, so we'll actually get some digging footage in. And yeah, let's carry on. Next stop, Pella. We're going to meet my favorite guy, I hope. I don't know if he's home or not, but on we go. But before we move on, just quickly show you why I tend to not like people. We've pulled over one of these little roadside rest areas, and this whole area is absolutely just littered with booze bottles. So I'm not going to believe there's just passengers who are jumping out and having a beer while they're driving. There's a lot of really dangerous drunk drivers out there, all into the desert there. Just maybe the odd soft drink bottle, but this is mainly booze bottles. Can't stand it. Okay, just a quick little detour. I suddenly realized I don't have enough water, and in driving through the desert, especially on some of the roads we're going to be on, you cannot have enough water. And while I'm here, I might as well refuel. Ooh, excuse me. I've only done about 100 kilometers, but if you hit a crosswind or a headwind on the way back, it can really mess with your fuel consumption. So I'm going to fill up as well, because as you can't have enough water, the only time you can have too much fuel is if you're actually on fire. So we're just going to pop in quickly and we'll be on our way in just a minute. Alrighty, got me 5 liters of water, just refueled. And I did ask around if anybody knows any of the diggers around here. Let's get my seatbelt on. Unfortunately, I've never had any luck getting any minerals or crystals in this area. The stuff I have gotten out of the area has always been from diggers who live in other areas who will come to dig in the mountains around here. I think that's because this whole town is run and controlled by the Black Mountain Mining Company. So it's all the formerly employed mine workers. So this town is a little bit better off than some of the other places I go to, in that just about everybody here is formally employed. So nobody's trying to scratch a living on the side by chasing the little bits and pieces I take. So yeah, it's just other people from outside the area will come and get the interesting stuff, the crystals and mineral specimens out of the hills around here. But as I say, the miners themselves here are formally employed, and so I'm better off than many other places I'm going to, such as Pella, where we will be next. Really hope he's home. Môre. Ja, is je pa by die huis?
Nee, my pa seker, my pa nou hier geloop.
Waar is hy?
Seker so oor kan.
Waar die tuin is?
Ja, waar die tuin is.
Okay. Joseph. Nee, die paai is nou oop. Ja, maar verlede maand was ek in Namibië. Ek gedink net so 2-3 dae, maar ek het positief COVID getoets. So ek moes daar ge-isolate.
Kyk hier, Jimmy sê vir my. Hulle het mos hier, hulle het my gestop, glad. Nie die mense nie, in Pella nie. Ander mense wat in karries bly. As 'n vrou, maar hy familie van die Lena se seun het getrou met hulle. Hy sê vir Dirk, ek mag nie meer klippe verkoop nie. Ek vra van hoekom mag ek die klippe verkoop? Ek het 'n pampiertjie, ek het 'n kaartjie. Hoekom mag ek hom nie verkoop nie? Hulle is nie die Pella se mense nie. Ander mense wat Dirk ken hom nie, bly buite.
And this is Joseph's transport, how he gets around the desert. Sit maar hier.
Dit is niet zo vreselijk. Hulle het net soos hulle haar lyk. Ja, dit is maar so rooi.
Here's the clock, they'll clean up nice.
Dit is wel zwak. Hierdie, alles zwak. Hierdie lyk maar zwak, maar dit is anders slecht.
Not so sure about these. Ja, hy het maar so kleur.
Net dan so 'n bietjie kleur is baie min. Maar net so bietjie.
Okay, deal concluded.
Maar ek sal dit kan doen. As ek nou gaan maak, ek maak dit.
Ja, so sê hoe meer rooi is daar, hoe meer kan ek betaal. En kleur, glans en vertoon.
Vertoon.
Ja. Okay, kom ons laai maar in die bakkie. Okay, so that was old Joseph. Hopefully I don't get into trouble with YouTube when I say his surname. His name is Joseph Kaffer, which in the Afrikaans language, or in South Africa should I say, that's the equivalent of the N word in America. But I have seen his ID, that is in fact his name. The youngster we saw there is his son, who a couple of trips back I didn't have enough cash on me, so I put money through into his son's bank account. So there is a listing on my bank account for payment to a K Kaffer, and I keep kind of expecting the police to pitch up my door and arrest me for racism or something, but I have seen his ID. Lovely old chap, always smiling, nothing ever gets him down. He probably couldn't follow the conversation there because he doesn't speak English, but he was telling me that somebody from somewhere else has been telling him he's not allowed to mine, but it's not a local person that's giving him uphill, it's somebody from somewhere else, and he does have a permit, so he was just having a bit of a complaint, and he didn't know I'd be here because we haven't been able to cross provincial borders thanks to the COVID lockdown, so he wasn't expecting me, didn't have as much as he would have liked to, but I'm hoping to be back in about 2 months and he'll have more for me. Now I'm going to try and find the other contact. Unfortunately, the power's out in town, and if the power's out, that means the cell phone networks are out, which means I cannot get hold of him. So now by memory I'm going to have to try and remember where he stays, otherwise I'm going to have to give it a miss and try and call him and stop back on the way home and hopefully get stuff then. But in the meantime, this is just hit and miss, see if I remember where he stays. This is the little town of Pella. It's largely centered around the old mission station, and there is a very big Catholic cathedral out here, kind of historic. It's been there for many hundreds of years, and a lot of interesting facts about it that I can't remember offhand now. I really got to do my research before I do the next videos so that I can fill you in. But it's built by I can't remember I think it's German missionaries back in the day. But yeah, let me turn around. Yeah, I can't remember where he stays, so I'm gonna have to wait until the cell phone towers come back on, phone him and organize to meet him on the way back. So now let's go and hit the dirt road and see if it's in good enough condition to push through into Witbank and Goodhouse and all those other places. If not, we'll just turn back and go back on the tar road. This is seriously the best part of my job. I love it. On our way to Goodhouse now. It's about 12:30 on a Wednesday. Just a few years ago, this time on a Wednesday, I would have been hoping for my lunch break as a slave in the corporate world. But this is me working, actually getting meaning out of life instead of being chained to a desk every day. And yeah, so we're in the middle of the Kalahari Desert here. Dry riverbed. And we're on a buying trip, so we will be getting some rocks. Well, we've got some so far. We will be getting more. Tomorrow we're going to go digging a new area. Life is good. This is what life's about, man. This is by far the best part of the job. Plain Pella guest farm. I have stayed there before. It's really nice. It's a date farm. Excuse me. But I also got camping and cabins, swimming pool. Really nice place to stay. They've even got an honor bar where you can help yourself to beers out of the bar, write it down in the book and pay for them when you leave. But yeah, the roads are bad in some places, terrible in some places, but not impossible. And that is exactly the reason why I bought this truck, for the high ride suspension. The first time I came this way, I was in my old car, a VW Golf, with no suspension, and that was a nightmare of a ride. It's about 6 years ago. I was at the end of my overdraft, credit card was maxed out, and I just took what last cash I could get on my revolving credit, and on a wing and a prayer, and I came down. Luckily, that was a successful trip. I got enough good material to tide me over, and it was round about then that my business started to turn around and pick up. But that was pretty much rock bottom at the time, that first trip down here. And yeah, let's see how the GoPro image stabilization handles this lot. I don't know if you can even hear me over the rattling, but yeah, on to Good House now. Get a load of the scenery. Okay, the last few kilometers the road has been really bad, and I can't figure out, is it better to go slow or faster over the corrugations. What I actually should do is let some air out of the tires, but I don't have a tire gauge, so I don't know how to judge it. And I'm reminding myself again, when I get back, I have to get myself a tire gauge and an electric tire pump, because these roads are seriously punishing the suspension. But you got to do what you got to do. I think I said earlier we're heading for Good House. I got that wrong. We're actually heading for Witbank if we make it. So grit your teeth and hang on. This is a really nasty piece of road. This is seriously no fun. I'm driving along, barely crawling along, and it's been a couple of times I've wanted to turn back, but we're so close now. But these roads are really, really in appalling condition. I know the GoPro is really good at image stabilization, but there's no way I can describe to you just how corrugated these roads are. I'm doing maybe 15 kilometers an hour and I'm still getting rattled around really badly. That ahead is the Orange River Valley, and Witbank is on the banks of the Orange River, so we're nearly there. Let's just push on. Alrighty, finally coming on into the little settlement of Witbank. I don't even know if my guy here has got anything. Don't even know if he's home. There is no cell phone reception out here, so there's no way you can phone ahead. So we're just coming in on it and taking a chance. It's the Orange River down there. At least here the road is passable. Not great, but I'm not looking forward to the ride back. I'm thinking of giving Good House a miss completely, turning back onto the tar road, even though it's out of the way. It's just much easier than these roads that are the last 20 kilometers or so have been absolute hell. Really informal little settlement. Say hello.
Hello, dear.
With Isak, the guy I was supposed to see isn't here, but he's got some amethysts. A whole box full, nicely wrapped. So it's not a waste of a trip. Now we hit the road on the way back. That's not going to be fun. Okay, so I forgot to turn the camera on for most of that. But what's happened is the guy I was hoping to see, he gets really gorgeous deep red Hematite phantoms, but with a good luster. He's in Kakamas at the moment, and he's selling to Jaco van Nieuwenhuizen that we saw in the, I think it was the day 2 video of this trip. So chances are I'm going to stop in there on the way back and pay the inflated prices if it is any good, because unfortunately I missed him by a day. Luckily his neighbor there did have some pretty nice amethyst. We'll get that into oxalic acid when we get home, and yeah, that'll be available on the website, kalahari-lapidary.rocks. Link in the description very soon. We just have to get them cleaned up and photographed and everything first. And now heading back. I'm not looking forward to this road again. You got to do what you got to do. Right, so happens every trip. I'm having one of those weird moments. It's just so surreal. What the hell am I doing here? What is going on in my life that I'm so far off the beaten track? It's just a real, it's bizarre. It's so bizarre. I wish I can figure out how to fly that drone of mine to get some drone footage. Just to give an idea, the camera's not going to capture just how desolate it is, how vast the expanse is. I'm filming from inside the truck because it's pretty windy out there, but I'm going to stick the camera out the window. I don't know what the sound's going to do to the speaker, but let's find out. we're back onto the really terrible part of the road again. So what I'm going to do now is just pickle on back at a little over walking pace until we can get back to where the road is decent enough that I can pick up some speed. I'm going to skip Goodhouse and go the opposite direction, go back the way we came, get onto the tar road. The Isuzu is as close to Africa proof as they come, but there's no point in risking any serious damage when there's no absolute need for it. So here we go on the way back. Okay, 4 p.m. we're finally back on tar. That was one of the worst trips of my life. Those roads are really bad. So about an hour and a half until we get home. Call it 2 hours. I'm going to stop and buy something for supper. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for today. We'll sign off when we get home, see what the news is with Yaku, and yeah, finally on the way home. Okay, just after 6 p.m. we're back in Springbok. Could have been better today, could have been worse, but tomorrow we're going digging the new spot. We have a report of some red botryoidal fluorites, which we're going to be seeing in a week or two, so hopefully that's coming in. And often these stories don't pan out, but we can always hope. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. So obviously like and subscribe and hit that bell button if you want to get an alert, because tomorrow's going to be really good. First time digging a new spot, always exciting. So that's it for tonight, and or for today. I need a cold one, but the bottle stores are closed, so I'm going to the pub. See you tomorrow.